Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Tier 6 Premium Czech Medium Tank, the Zizka Skoda T40. Now this is the hero skin version of the Skoda T40, the Tier 6 Premium Czech Medium Tank. This was a tank that you could have earned was about a week ago. I think the earn-up ended on the 2nd of November. And it was a pretty easy earn-up. It was just a week long. It was a very, very short earn-up. But it was like earn 150 points, for which you gained 3 for coming top, 2 for 2nd to 4th, and then 1 for 5th to 7th. So if you came in that region, and especially if you managed to come top quite a lot, you could get it quite easily. The tank itself it was horrendous pre 6.0, post 6.0. It's a little bit better because some of its weaknesses are negated by the changes we got with 6.0. It's okay, but it does have some pretty strong weaknesses, and they kind of hurt the tank a little bit. So what are the weaknesses of the tank? Well, for me, it's the shot velocity, which is pretty poor. The gun handling is a little bit sad at times, although, like I say, that is one thing that is actually negated by 6.0. Before 6.0, this thing just absolutely loved to miss shots left, right, and centre, and that was just absolute pain. It was very, very annoying when it did miss shots. Doesn't really miss as many now because, like I say, 6.0 made it better. Also, the DPM got better, as you see in 4.9 second reload with the setup we've got. And on the whole, it felt a wee bit nicer to play. Now, it's got 145 pen on its standard AP rounds. It's got 200 heat pen, and honestly, the heat pen's nice for a tier 6, but the shell velocity is even worse with the heat rounds, and it's horrible to use. They're literally just a horrible, horrible round on this tank. When you load premium, you miss far more. You don't really hit people with it, and you don't really hit them in the right spot either, and it's just a pain. The other problem with the tank is that it's fat. It's big, it's fat, and yes, I am fat shaming this tank, and it's got ammo racks for days, okay? And you might be going, what do you mean? Well, in the actual tank itself, there's ammo racks in both sides of the turret and the back of it, and all along both sides of the tank. So this tank loves to get ammo racked. Derp gun, it's made of spit and Kleenex, by the way, so derp guns pen it easily every time as well, which means that most of the time when they pen, they pop your ammo rack. I'm telling you, this is ammo rack central. Maybe you want to think about safe stowage perk to help it out. But to be honest, you're probably just better avoiding the shells if you can, to be totally honest. But I have, in the probably 10, 12 games I played in this tank, which is, post 6.0, it definitely does feel better. It feels a lot better than when I used to play it. When it first came out, like 2017 or something like that, it's just 4 years ago now, which is mad. I saw it and went, oh my god, one of my favourite tanks at the time, and probably still is just for fun and playing, is the VK3001P, right? That tank is a lot of fun to play, and looking at the stats of this tank, it was like, oh my goodness me, they've just released a premium version of that tank. Yeah, that would do it. No, they didn't. It's nowhere near as good as that tank, and yeah, a little bit disappointing. But hey, it's still capable when it's top tier, and as you're seeing here, when we're bottom tier, you can still do a little bit. So, in terms of the crew that I run on the tank, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Trap Mechanic, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Snapshot, Camouflage Expertise. Now, I run Camouflage Expertise because it is fat, right, so it doesn't have the best of camo. But it is a medium tank, so helping the cam out as much as possible is always helpful, right? And especially at lower tiers, having camo maxed out on some tanks is definitely, or having some sort of camo help is definitely very helpful, because obviously view range isn't that high across a lot of tanks at that tier, or the tier below it. So if you can maximise the distance you can be firing at without getting spotted, it's what you want. And then you might be going, well, why aren't you running green thumb or muffled shot or something like that? Well, because the gun is dreadful, and obviously it's a medium tank. It wants to have a good gun. So we've got all the gun perks to try and just help this gun be good. And to be honest, if you run those gun perks, it doesn't feel that bad. You've just got to equate for the bad shell velocity pretty much. In terms of the equipment I run on the tank, I run rammer, optics, and vents. Again, I'll do it to boost the view range up as much as possible on this tank. Also to make the gun handling as nice it is, you know, make the aim time a little bit better, and like I say, just get the view range high and maximise the DPM of the tank. You could probably drop vents for camo net just to help the camo even more, so you stay unspotted and don't get shot and get your ammo rack blown off. It's probably a good idea, but you know, it is what it is. It's up to you how you want to play it and how you want to set it up. So in this game on Arctic region, we've managed to get about on this northern flank. We've managed to, you know, get a fair bit of damage, up to 2k damage. We were horrendously bottom tier, so we're doing pretty well for that, for 2.3k damage and 1,000 assists. It's a nice game so far for being bottom tier. But we're trying to just avoid getting shot up by this Jagdpanther. Now, I do have heat in, which is 200 pen, but unfortunately we're still bouncing off the Jagdpanther, and that is getting a buff. That, I say, this at the time of recording that is getting a buff. It's, for you guys, it got a buff yesterday. And its armour will be a little bit better, which make it a little bit more difficult to pen. And even with my 200 pen, I'm still struggling a little bit with it. So we managed to get a shot snapped in to get a damage on the artillery. I was about to say kill it, but unfortunately we don't get to finish it off. The 45 TP does. And there's only one tank left on the enemy team. We're at 2.5k damage, 1,000 assistance, well, 1,100 assistance. Really nice game. And there's an AT-15 left. So we've got the heat loader because, well, with 145 pen, I am not penning an AT-15. Unfortunately for us, that is just not going to happen. He is a tier 8 heavy tank destroyer. And with 145 pen, it's just not going to happen. And I do know where he was, and there we go. He was on this H line, 9 line, so I knew he was somewhere in this vicinity. Now he's got spotted. I'm going to go up here. And to be honest, I'm not planning on getting much damage off him. What I want to do is get into a position to keep him lit, and therefore my team will be able to know where he is, hopefully shoot him up or get themselves into a position to shoot him, and I'll get more assistance. That's the hope. So we're just going to poke up on this ridge line to see where he is. I'm kind of hoping he's not on this same corner, because the AT-15 is a tank that people underestimate, right? Because it's a big, fat, slow, British tier 8 tank destroyer. Don't underestimate the AT-15. The AT-15 has an absolutely unbelievable rate of fire, okay? It can reload in, like, I think it was 3.9 seconds I got it down to. 3.9 seconds for 240 alpha. You absolutely wreck tanks so fast, and a lot of the time you completely catch people out with that tank, because they go, wait, this is, oh my god, my health, where's it going? I didn't expect this from a puny tier 8 tank. Well, it's not puny, but a tier 8 tank destroyer, and then before they know it, all the health's gone. And for a tank like me as well, with, you know, fairly lowish pen, for penning a tier 8, that is, fairly decent pen for a tier 6, we're going to really struggle with this guy. So we've got 200 heat pen. Obviously, we're going for the cupola. That is the weak spot. We've manoeuvred ourselves into a position where he's not going to be looking at us, and we could get a better shot at him. But unfortunately, by the time we've got there, got one shot into him, our friends have shut him down. But we finished the game with 2.7k damage, 1,000 assistance, ace tanker, the Confederate medal, 1968 base XP. Like I said, nice game for the Czech tier 6 medium tank, and honestly it's a pretty nice game for it being bottom tier. It's not one that you can expect to do a lot when you're bottom tier, because like I say, it's pen lets it down when you're facing the higher tiers, but it is tier 6, and you're big, fat, and you've got no armor. And the problem is as well is the fact that yes, I am fat shaming the tank again, because you're fat and tall. Oh, look at that, he's getting high-tissed. Right, you've got 6 degrees of gun depression. Yeah, 6 degrees of gun depression. So because you're such a tall tank, when you're coming over ridge lines, you really struggle on them. You have to really overexpose sometimes when you're on a ridge line to get a shot at someone. And that's a bit of a problem when you've got no armour and you're a walking ammo rack, because that means that people are always going to get a shot at you, and that's just pure pain. Because you'll be there like, hello, friend. Oh, where's my head gone? Oh, my head's on the floor. Oh, dear. That's not good. And there's not much you can do about it. It's sad, really. I kind of wish the ammo rack wasn't everywhere in the tank. Maybe if they cut it down where the ammo rack hitboxes are, but it is what it is. So, we're on the second game on Westfield. Westfield's a dream. We are top tier this time, which is nice. We bounced off the side of a KV-1 because, of course, I think we hit the upper deck of the KV-1 there and ricocheted. We get another shot into his side, but unfortunately we get spotted. We take a risk by sitting still. It's the Panzer 3-4 below us that spotted us up. I'm just trying to get shots and sort of make my movement unpredictable. We get unspotted, so we're just going to start throwing shots into this Fury now. We are spotting this Fury up as well, so we're getting a bit of assisted on him. I tried to track and pen him. Unfortunately, we didn't pen him, but we did track him, and we've managed to finish off the Fury. So I am staying here because, I don't know, I feel a little bit confident that there's not much else on that K-line that will be shooting me up. So I'm just being a bit more aggressive, and I'm moving up and down on this ridge line and staying here even though I'm spotted. I can't recommend... Most of the time, if you get spotted on this little hill, you will want to run, and you will want to not stay here when you are spotted, because otherwise it's just a great way to lose health. Now, I end up getting slapped there by something in front of us. There's only 150 damage, but it sounded a lot more. And now I'm just being a little bit more careful, because obviously we know where the Sturm VK is, and the Sturm is, well, it's one of my favourite meme tanks at tier 6, because it hits hard and it's just a beam. And it's got a 105mm derp gun, which means it's going to pen us with HE, and it will probably pen us with the heat round. Well, it will pen us with the heat rounds easily. So we've just got to be careful of that, because he'll probably pop our armor rack if he pens us. Now there's a 45 TP down there. We're trying to pen him with the 105 AP rounds, which we just got to hit the lower plate. But unfortunately, even hitting the lower plate, we're still bouncing. So we load the heat rounds, because we will go through this guy with the heat rounds. We get one into his lower plate, and he gets shut down by the Banshee. I say, you can see I keep looking to the left, because I am keeping in my mind that that VK is there. So my next target when I'm moving up is to get to these rocks in front of me. I want to get to these rocks in front of me, because if I get up on the Tiff's ridge line and stick with these rocks, this guy is probably not going to spot me. Not just that, he probably won't be able to shoot me. Now, he is sitting in that position, and we're going to try and get some snipe shots in, and look at that. Pre-6.0, we wouldn't have hit that shot, and I'm telling you that for a fact. We would not have hit that shot, and we've hit it again. The gun handling buffs that you can get with the crew skills now make this gun handling so much better and just so much nicer to use. And it generally makes the tank a little bit more it just makes the tank more bearable, to be honest. I did find it more bearable. Before, I couldn't stand it because it was big, fat, ammo rack city, no gun depression, decent reload, but a terrible gun. Now it's not as much of a problem because the gun isn't as terrible, so you know it's at least usable. Now we're moving up, and we've actually spotted these guys here. Now I'm quite happy that the Stewig is... Did you see that? We shot at the Stewig there, and then... Yeah, okay, the other Stewig got spotted. We ended up shooting at the Stewig, and his friend took the brunt of it. But yeah, I'm quite happy those Stewigs didn't bother with me, because they would have blown my ammo rack. See a theme here. And I'm quite happy that they didn't shoot at us. We managed to shut down the Churchill 1. We've got AP, and we're going for the side shot on the 88. Unfortunately, we bounced. So we load the heat round. I probably should have aimed for that upper superstructure anyway. With the AP rounds, I probably would have penned it. But it is what it is. We've got the heat in to make sure we're going to pen it. We get a nice shot into his side. He is tracked, so he's boned. And we get the shot into his side to finish him off. And we finished that game with 3.3k damage, 1,480 assistance. 5 kills as well, 2.1k base. Get another nice game for the Zizka, showing what it can do when it's top tier. Ace tanker, high caliber, sniper medal. Like I say, it's not bad when it's top tier. When it's bottom tier, it's horrible. It's just sort of a middle ground. It's a lot better now since 6.0. It used to be horrendous. Now it's sort of okay. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!